Casey DeSmith has another superb start in a bounce-back win for the Dallas Stars over the Canucks. We get our first taste of the Mikko Rantanen experience, but unfortunately, Roope Hintz is out for the time being. We'll break it all down next on Locked On Stars.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. The Dallas Stars bounce back with a 4-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. Casey DeSmith was brilliant once again. We're going to highlight his last 6 starts. We get our first taste of Mikko Rantanen, number 96 in victory green. We, of course, have to touch on that. Unfortunately, we've lost Roope Hintz for the time being with a facial injury. Man, the Stars need to wear bubbles. Why does this keep happening every few games or so? We're going to get into all of it on a Monday edition of Locked On Stars. Thank you so much for joining me today on another week. For those of you that are new after hearing me talk about the Mikko Rantanen trade, welcome in and welcome to Locked On Stars. Be an everydayer and rock along with us until the postseason. So let's dive right in to a 4-1 victory over the Canucks, and we're going to touch on Casey DeSmith here right off the hop. He has been superb. I said this during the game. Over his last half a dozen starts, he's been brilliant. Big save after big save in key moments. And look at what he's put together here recently. He stopped 22 of 23 tonight in the victory over Vancouver, but he's won his last 6 starts. He gave up 3 against the Devils twice. He picked up W's there. He gave up 3 against San Jose and Columbus, picked up W's there, and the streak started with a shutout of the St. Louis Blues on the road. Winners of his last 6 starts, and he's given up 3 or more in 3 of the starts, but does have a shutout, and he's given up less than 2 and a handful of starts as well. He has been perfect when his name has been called upon by the Dallas Stars. He probably does not get enough love since he's the backup netminder, but this is what Scott Wedgwood did for Dallas over the last few seasons, and he was a big-time important piece last year, especially when Ottinger went down for about a month. This year, it's working out perfectly as a tandem. DeSmith gets the back end of a back-to-back, which is always tough. It was a gritty victory for the Stars. Wasn't pretty. A grinded out game was played along the boards. Felt like 90% of the game was on the outskirts of the rink. And the Canucks got some good looks. And you look at the chances they had right before the Robertson goal, which had the Stars put their foot down a bit in the contest, but a couple of huge saves in tight. Only surrenders the 1 goal in the first period, or making the second period, pardon me. And that was a bad switch off between Rantanen and Duchene, although I don't think there was anybody to pass off Forbort to who scored the goal for the Canucks. I don't know what Duchene was doing. I yelled at the TV as soon as Duchene let him go, and then he scores the goal. But Casey DeSmith has been great. He's won his last 6 starts now. He stopped 25 of 28 against New Jersey. Then he stopped 31 of 33. Had a 33 save shutout against the Blues. Stopped 27 of 30 against Columbus. 24 of 27 against San Jose. And yes, the Stars are scoring a lot. The offense is certainly helping them out as Dallas is having some issues with their defense. Lyubushkin had a really poor game the other night against Edmonton. I'll be honest, I did not get to watch the game in its entirety because it was a busy weekend, but it seemed like Lyubushkin did not have the best night, and the Stars were reeling a bit, especially against the Oilers, but I thought they were pretty tight against Vancouver, much better structure-wise. They really defended well as a team. I thought they bought in because they got hemmed in a few times by the Canucks. And again, I stated it a few moments ago. That's just a solid road win. That is a gritty victory in a building recently. I feel like hasn't been that kind to the Stars. And they look, this is how you got to win games too on the road. You get really superb net minding. You score on your looks. You get your big boys to help you out, and your special teams, which was all out of sorts, I should say. Man, they looked awful. The power play was abysmal. They went 0 for 4, and they looked awful. It was reminiscent of the first 3 months of the season. Just could not put a pass together, especially on their entries. They really struggled, but that's the first time in a while the Stars power play has not looked good. But just a superb game from DeSmith. He deserves his flowers for that one. Ended up with the best game score by a Star, 2.18. The expected goals against was 3.18. I'm curious the chances. The Canucks had 24 scoring chances at 5-on-5. It only gives the Stars 7. So the Stars were heavily outchanced in the game. Only 12 chances, scoring chances total for the Stars, but they did have 7 high danger. So they did not get the better of the looks, at least according to Natural Stat Trick. 3.18 expected goals for Vancouver, just 1.84 for Dallas. That is really, really low. And, to be honest, watching the game, I felt that way a bit too. I was just like, God, it was a chore for Dallas to make some plays. Vancouver, I thought, mucked it up, especially early. It was a physical game. And of course, Dallas is coming in on a back-to-back. And it wasn't, I guess, the ceiling of the Dallas Stars. It wasn't Dallas Stars hockey, but you have to win those types of games. And I thought it was just a really solid road victory, against a decent Vancouver team. And you asked some of your big boys to score. The Granlund goal was huge. Oh, he needed that one. He had yet to score in Dallas. Rantanen was set up too. We'll get to him in a moment, but he was set up in front, providing the screen off the shot from Cody Ceci. Lankinen, who was all sorts of out of rhythm, it felt like at points in the game, punched it away with a blocker right to Granlund, who buried it. That was a huge goal for him, his 16th of the season. And, Dallas had to throw some lines together too with Roope Hintz out. That didn't help. So we saw a handful of different combinations. Rantanen was playing alongside Duchesne and Granlund at one point. We saw him start with Johnston in Marchment. So there was a lot of different experiments, which the Stars, I think, are going to mess with, especially if Roope is going to be out for any sort of time here over the next week, 2 weeks. We're going to see a lot of different trios. The fourth line was excellent. They deserved their due. Probably the best line of the night. I know they didn't end up with any tallies on the score sheet, but Beck, Steele, Blackwell, just awesome fourth line, grinded out stuff from that trio. Had some big shifts. They set the tone, and they had some shifts that sort of switch momentum in Dallas's favor at points. Like, you need that out of your fourth line. You're not always going to score, but can you hem in the defense, wear them out a bit, and then you can get your big boys out there. It wears out the opponent, and then it will open up opportunities for your top lines and those top six forwards who cashed in. I mean, the Robertson goal is so perfect. He tracks all the way back. He ends up picking the pocket of Anthony Joshua, who had a very nice game. And then the Stars are off to the races, plays it off to Duchesne. Robo continues to slice. Bada bing, bada boom, off his blade. Ginormous goal for Robertson. His 28th of the year. Gosh, he's on an absolute tear. My goodness, he is killing it. And that was a big-time goal to give the Stars a 3-1 lead. And then the empty net merchant, Mikko Rantanen, buries it. And what a nice casual start to his Dallas Stars career. Mikko Rantanen already with a couple of points, and he seals the deal tonight in a 4-1 victory for the Dallas Stars, but loved a lot of what we saw from Dallas. That's a tough game after sort of not showing up in the first half of the hockey game against Edmonton to begin your road trip. Got to travel and then get in and just find a way to pick up 2 points. It's a big win too. Winnipeg lost tonight, so the Stars continue to close in on Winnipeg a bit with 17, 18 games now remaining in the season. So we'll see if they can push them to the brink. And you got a couple massive games for the Central standings upcoming. You got Winnipeg and then Colorado to round out this road trip, and you get much needed days off. Stars have been going almost every other day here for the last probably 14 days. So you get 3 days off before you have to take on a very, very good Jets team. So just a lot to like. I thought it was an overall game where you have to ask your dancers to sing, your singers to dance a bit. Just a pretty physical play around the outskirts of the rink type of game. I thought Dallas wasn't great on the boards early in the contest, but they did enough tonight, and they're able to score a few home, and just a nice win to say the least. Let's get into the Mikko Rantanen experience. Y'all know how fired up I was on Friday when I put out an emergency pod. So let's talk about it. Our first looks and observations from the Mikko Rantanen experience. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber, better for you unsaturated fats to help you keep that feeling of being fuller longer. That's what it's all about. Healthy snacks. We're on the go. Sometimes we forget to eat. You can have that protein snack that will give you energy, and that is Wonderful Pistachios. They also have no shells, so you don't have to worry about cracking them open, although I think that's part of the pistachio experience, the satisfying crack of opening each shell. It's like snack meditation. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. I apologize for the voice being a bit raspy today. It was an awesome, exciting weekend for the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. For those of you that don't know, I'm the play-by-play voice of the Ice Rays in the North American Hockey League. A huge series against a team that were battling for second place in the division. We took 2 out of the 3, and it was a final regular season home game today. And we had one of our veterans that's been around the block, and it was his final regular season home game of his entire career, scored a hat trick. So just awesome scenes, and just a really fantastic weekend all the way around, and capped off with a Stars victory, which was nice. But enough of that. Let's get into Mikko Rantanen. And look, he looks comfortable. He looks comfortable right off the hop. And again, I will hold my hand up. I did not watch the entire game against Edmonton with everything going on this weekend, but I got to catch some highlights. I saw he got tossed around a little bit, but he picks up an assist and a goal in the game. A sweet feed by Duchesne, by the way, who picked up 2 helpers tonight on the power play goal. Really nice effort in the third period by Dallas. Wish they showed up in the other 2 periods, but a great push to try to at least earn something out of the contest. But he looks comfortable, as we thought, would slide in nicely with Hintz and Robertson. Unfortunately, Roope goes down. He's bigger than I thought. I don't know why. Maybe I just haven't watched Rantanen in a while, but he kind of jumped off the screen to me tonight. I was like, he's big. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. Like, my goodness. And guys, like, the Stars have not had a player like this. I mean, he's leading the Stars in points now since he has 72 points on the season now, I believe, and he scores the empty net tonight to seal things off. It's his 29th goal of the season. And again, I don't know how people were overblowing a 13-game segment with the Carolina Hurricane. Like, imagine if Roope Hintz, or even, let's say, Nathan MacKinnon had 6 points in 13 games. All of a sudden, he's just a really bad player. Like, give me a break. Stop whining. Grab a tissue. This guy's a star. You're not a merchant of anybody when you have back-to-back seasons of over 100-plus points. Did it help? Absolutely, okay? I would be good with Nathan MacKinnon to some degree, right? McKinnon's a great player. He's one of the best in the world. Of course it helped him out, but stop. This guy scored 55 goals before. He knows how to hit the back of the net. It's not all MacKinnon. Give me a break. I can't wait for him to be a Roope Hintz merchant. That's what I'm going to call him now. He's the next Roope Hintz, maybe Wyatt Johnston merchant the rest of the season. The overblown 13 games against Carolina. And you have to provide context to this too. He was shocked he got traded there. They never had a long homestand in Carolina. He never got settled. And it was a weird fit. Carolina plays a different type of style. Logan Stankoven, I think, will thrive in Carolina. He's the perfect type of player for Rod Brind'Amour. That's not really the type of game Mikko Rantanen thrives in. And again, it was a shock that he got traded there. You give him 13 games. He has 6 points, and now he's just awful, just a terrible player. MacKinnon propped him up. Again, give me a break. So he looks fine. I thought defensively tonight, look, he's a willing defender. Which I think is really all you can ask for out of him. I know there's a lot of stuff about his defense. It's not great. I'm not going to try to convince anybody of that. But again, it's not what Dallas is really asking him to be. Like, he can be a pure goal scorer, and that's what he is. And I think he's just been a nice fit. He's got some size. I love that he stands up for Robertson today, like gets into the fold. He takes a penalty for it, but like that's the sign of someone that's bought in. That's a bought in player. And I look forward to watching him continue to develop this chemistry with Robertson, Duchesne, whatever sort of line they're going to throw out there. It still seems it's going to be perfect if Roope, Robo, and him on a line together, but without Roope now for a little bit, they're going to have to get creative. But again, thought he had a solid game, gets the empty netter, I think it'll only get better and better as the season wears along. He's got a gel. It's probably been a whirlwind for him for the last month and a half. There's a human being element to this, but from all accounts, looks like Dallas was a destination he wanted to be in, and the Finnish Mafia was a big selling point to him, and that I think will really help his assimilation into the locker room. Stars seem to have a great culture. They do have a fantastic culture. He can slide right in, doesn't have to be anybody that he's not. Play your game, and we've got a little glimpse of it, and I think it's really exciting. And again, I mentioned this on Friday. To put it simply, the Stars are a better team now with him than they were 48 to 72 hours ago. So just really, really have liked what we've seen out of him. A nice couple of games. And again, it's just a couple of games. Try not to overreact. And I'm not saying, Rantanen is going to be, a 55 or 50 to 60 goal scorer every season in Dallas for the next 7 years. Because odds are he may not be, because we've seen it before. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your statistics. You got to take a little less for the betterment of the whole group. But right now, it is guns a-blazing for the Stars. Just score at will. I mean, another 4 goals tonight. It's 3 with an empty netter, but the offense hasn't been much of an issue, which it is a great sign. Let's get into Roope Hintz a bit. For those of you that did not hear it over the weekend, Roope Hintz took a puck in the face in the game against Edmonton on Saturday and had to get surgery, and he was flown back to Dallas. And Pete DeBoer gave some comments, so we'll get into those in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Factor. Looking to optimize your nutrition this year, Factor makes eating well easy with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals that are fresh, never frozen, and ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences every week, you can customize your meals to fit your lifestyle, whether it's calorie smart, protein plus, keto. Plus, with Factor, even offers wholesome smoothies, breakfast, and grab-and-go snacks to keep you full all day long. I love how Factor takes the stress out of meal planning. That can be the biggest hurt in an everyday life, trying to find meals. I'm always running around. I'm at the rink back and forth. Factor makes it easy. Plop that baby in the microwave, and then boom. Eat smart. Eat healthy with Factor. No prep, no mess. Get started at factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 and use code LockedOnNHL50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code LockedOnNHL50 off at factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Hey, by the way, we did cross the 3,500 mark on YouTube for subscribers. So a huge shout out to all of you. Thank you so much as this community continues to grow. Thank you. I did my first live show during the deadline for the Rantanen deal because I was just so stoked. And shout out to all of you that came on. It was a lot of fun, and that video did really well. And I think I got a lot of new subscribers. So thank you so much for all of you that have decided to maybe join this community and stick around for the rest of the season. If you want to bandwagon with Dallas as a DFW fan, you're more than welcome to. We love hockey here. We share and talk about the great game. And if you're new to hockey, thank you so much. I love the game of hockey so much. I hope that comes out on each and every episode, and to be able to share it with people that love the game and love the Stars as much as I do, really a dream, honestly. And I really appreciate all of you that take the time out of your day to listen to me, just spew nonsense sometimes. But thank you. Now back to Roope Hintz. Gosh, every time I don't watch a game live, another Star's hitting the deck, and Roope Hintz took a puck off the face in the game against Edmonton, and it's another tough blow. So he was taken to the hospital after the game. DeBoer said on the Hintz injury, flew home today. This is a quote. So we'll see. Initial thought was it's nothing long term, but obviously not available day to day here. DeBoer also said it looks like they ruled out a fracture, but until all the imaging is done on Hintz, they won't know for sure. This comes from Robert Tiffin, by the way. Robert Tiffin is fantastic. And for those of you that are new, be sure to follow Robert Tiffin, Sam Nessler, Owen Newkirk. These are great reporters, journalists, however you want to classify them, that cover the Stars, and they do great work. And they always have the best insight on what's going on. So it obviously stinks if Hintz is going to be out for any length of time. For the most part, look, I can only go off of what we're hearing from other players and Pete DeBoer, the staff. Seems that it's not going to be long-term. They had him sort of as day-to-day, but you never know with these things. Marchman, I think, missed just over a month. I think it was about a month. And hopefully that will not be the case for Hintz, but it did not look good. I'll say this. I'll take the silver lining in it. They need him healthy and rested. And if he's got to miss, a week, look, the Stars are getting the playoffs. That's not the issue. Can they win the Central? Yes, but do you want to maybe, this year winning the Central maybe better than it was last year? I would say it is. Winnipeg is scheduled to play Calgary. Would you rather play Calgary than Colorado? Yes, but look, if you're gonna win a cup, you're gonna have to beat a good team anyways. And it stinks that you may have to take on a very good Colorado team that loaded up too. They're going to be dangerous, and we're going to get to see them in a few days. But they need Roope Hintz as close to 100% as possible. I don't know if anybody's 100% right at this point in the season, but man, they need him rested and healthy. And I'm going to try to take the silver lining out of this. It stinks because you would love for him to be in the lineup right now because of Rantanen, so they can sort of mesh and continue to build a relationship, build that chemistry. But look, you need him healthy, right? I'm going to come back to that. They need Roope Hintz. We've said in the past, like Roope Hintz, the Stars will go as far as he can as that number one center. They need their 1C because he's damn good. And when he's on, like he has been, like leading the NHL in points since I think the Four Nations break. He's been on an absolute tear. Like when he's playing that elite two-way game and he's chipping in as much as he is offensively, this Stars team will be a handful come playoff time. So I'm going to take the positive out of it right now. It certainly stings though, and we just gotta cross the fingers. It's not going to be too much longer. If it's a week, okay, 2 weeks, we can settle. Any longer than that, I'm going to get a bit antsy, to be honest. But it's just another blow. Seriously, let's put some bubbles on these guys. I don't know what it is this year. It just seems like every 6-7 games there's a Star that's getting a puck in the nostrils, and just awful stuff. It's freak stuff sometimes, and it's the game. But man, feels like the hockey gods sometimes are out to get you. So we'll have to see, and we'll get more updates as the week goes along. So be sure to stay tuned on the X. You can follow us on Locked On Stars, by the way, on Twitter. You can follow me at JoyTheJet19 as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, leave a review as well on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Locked On Stars on a Monday, kicking off a fantastic week. We got a couple of days to hang out, chillax for a bit, and grind out some things, and then Winnipeg and Colorado to finish up this road trip, which will be a lot of fun. And some measuring stick games, right? You always have those type of contests throughout the season, and two big games upcoming in the Central Division. Well, that'll do it. A jam-packed Monday edition of Locked On Stars for you. Thank you so much once again for all the love and support over the last few episodes. Trade deadline was a lot of fun, but now here's the sprint to the finale, and then the Stanley Cup playoffs are right around the corner. Cannot wait. I'm ready for some big time games. I'm ready for game one. Well, have a great day, Stars fans. Enjoy your Monday. Go Stars as always. And we'll see you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.